Hello everyone, I'm Jensen. Today is Thursday, March 18th, and from an update on the Braylen Noble case to vaccination passports, I have all the stories you need to know to get in the loop today. But first, today was gloomy and rainy and windy, and with the first alert day issued, I'm going to take a pause and look at what's ahead for the rest of the night and this weekend with our first alert weather team.
We are going to talk about improving weather into the weekend, but a note about tomorrow, the breeze will be coming out of the northeast. It is going to keep it a little bit cooler tomorrow, especially in lakeshore areas, but it's not going to be anywhere near as strong as today. The weekend still promises bright sunshine for you on both Saturday and Sunday. Here's a look at temperatures for tomorrow. It will be near freezing getting the day started, and temperatures will warm up through the day, but expect highs to peak likely lower 40s across most of the area, and there you can see the cooler weather in the lakeshore. I don't think the wind will turn east. It's probably going to be due northeast, and so it's going to have more of an impact in Ottawa County and Erie County, then even pressing down into Fremont, and maybe even that breeze will cool things off as far down as parts of Seneca County, including Tiffin and like Green Springs. You're probably going to feel the impact from it. So the west end of our viewing area tomorrow will be a little bit warmer, making the middle 40s. Sunshine, breezy tomorrow, and then a couple of gorgeous days over the weekend. With lighter winds, there is going to be the possibility of a lake breeze in the afternoon, especially on Saturday. So we're going to put the little asterisk there and say cooler near the lake on Saturday for you as well. But all in all, great looking weekend is coming up.
And now 6 months and a little over a week after the body of 3-year-old Braylen Noble was found in a Toledo swimming pool, the autopsy report has been released, but there are certainly more questions than answers. Today, we learned the manner of death was ruled undetermined by the Lucas County Coroner's Office. Now, according to a statement by a deputy coroner, a contributing cause to Braylen's death was reported as submersion in water, but in terms of manner of death, nothing conclusive was found at the autopsy. Dr. Robert Forney with the Coroner's Office said the toxicology report itself didn't take very long because nothing was found in Braylen's system besides ethanol, which is actually common. Now, Braylen was also tested for all kinds of common drugs, and the Coroner's Office said they found nothing.
The toxicology actually didn't take that long. But the other reason is, if we don't have a cause of death, we're not real. Dr. Beiser was not wanting to just real quick say, okay, we didn't find anything. The search for a cause becomes more extensive when there's not one that's readily apparent.
The report also says there was no physical evidence of trauma seen. However, there was evidence of brain swelling and water in both lungs. Now, we will continue to keep you updated on this case, and if there are any new developments, we will inform you on WTOL and on WTOL.com. And on March 29th, all Ohioans 16 and older will qualify for the coronavirus vaccine, and the Toledo-Lucas County Health Department is gearing up to meet that increased demand. Health Commissioner Eric Jasinski said today he's confident there will be plenty of supply locally, but he did acknowledge it'll be just a bit tight for a while longer. The Lucas County Rec Center, which is Northwest Ohio's mass vaccination site, will have the capacity to vaccinate 20,000 people a day when supply does increase. The increase in eligible people, though, means longer hours for volunteers at clinics, and the health department is looking for more. So nurses, EMS personnel, pharmacists, parking and traffic personnel, among others, are desperately needed. And TARDA will be offering free rides from the downtown hub to the Lucas County Rec Center for anyone getting a vaccine, but information on that program is still on the way, so I'll keep you updated on that. And the health department has a link on its website where people in the appropriate age groups can schedule an appointment. So signups for next week started today at 6 p.m., so check that out now if you need it. And as hope is on the horizon, there is just a little bit of concern as Lucas County is seeing a bit of an uptick again. Jasinski said that we average at about 55 new cases a day and spiked at 70 the other day. He said he's hoping we can see that level off and come down again. And Ohio Governor Mike DeWine held his own coronavirus briefing today, just one day before 1.6 million more Ohioans become eligible for the vaccine. So tomorrow, those 40 and older, along with those with certain medical conditions, qualify, including cancer, chronic kidney disease, COPD, heart disease, and obesity. And as a reminder, on March 29th, every Ohioan 16 and older will become eligible for the vaccine. But something important to be aware of is that anyone 16 and 17 can only receive the Pfizer their vaccine. So as we get closer to that March 29th date, DeWine said vaccine providers will be able to give notice of what vaccine option they have in stock. And as more people search for a slot, a lot of them are becoming frustrated with the state's centralized vaccine scheduling system, with one Twitter user calling it a joke. But the Ohio Capitol Journal reports that state officials hope to make it less frustrating next week. And I'm not exactly sure what changes they'll be making to make things easier, but we will definitely keep you updated. But if you or someone you love has trouble using the web, you can now call the state's coronavirus hotline to get some help scheduling, and that number is 1-833-427-5634. And as a reminder, DeWine said once we get to 50 cases per 100,000 people, all health orders will be done. So how close are we? Today we came in at 143.8 over a 2-week period, a drop from last Thursday when we were at 155. And for some perspective, at its peak on December 16th, 2020, that number was at 845.5 cases per 100,000 people. So we're making some great progress here. But DeWine warned that the variants are still a concern and pointed to some of our neighboring states, Michigan and West Virginia, who are seeing an increase in cases right now. And since we do have viewers in Michigan, let's take a second to break down exactly what's happening there. Michigan had the country's 5th highest rate of new COVID-19 cases in the last week and is among 14 states where infections rose over the past 2 weeks. Also, over the last 2 weeks, the state had the 10th highest per capita case rate. So this is a trend state health officials say is potentially tied to an increase in one of these more contagious variants. Chief Medical Executive Janae Caldoun says Michigan is in a different place than earlier in the pandemic because of vaccinations, but did warn that herd immunity is still in the distance. So this is definitely something we will continue to keep an eye on. And as more and more people get their shots, it's getting harder and harder to tell who's been vaccinated and who's not, which is why some people believe a nationalized database, including everyone who's gotten their coronavirus vaccine, is needed. It would essentially be a vaccine ID verifying that you've received both doses of the shot. Now, in China, they've already developed a COVID-19 vaccination certificate required for citizens in the case of cross-border travel. In Israel, there's the Green Pass, an app that's connected to a database listing everyone who's received the vaccine. But in the US, no steps similar to a verified vaccine ID have been implemented just yet. Now, part of that is because of obvious privacy issues if a database is created, including everyone's personal information, and the potential to create greater inequalities if proof of vaccination is needed to travel or participate in social activities. Proof of vaccination when traveling isn't entirely new, though. Previously, in some cases, when entering a new country, you may be asked to show your yellow card, which is a card issued by the CDC showing a history of your recent vaccinations. And currently in the US, proof of a negative COVID-19 test is required when returning from international travel, but we will keep you posted, of course, if any sort of vaccine passport makes headway here in the US. And before I go, let's talk about something fun for once. Let's look ahead to the Mud Hens this summer. The Toledo Mud Hens announced today they've been approved for 30% capacity for games this season at Fifth Third Field. Up to 4,000 fans will be permitted for all home games, but seating capacity will fluctuate somewhere between 2,700 and 4,000 depending on how pods are sold for each game. So speaking of pods, tickets will be sold in groups of 1 to 6 with all social distancing protocols in place. All attendees over 2 years old must wear a mask, which is no surprise, and fans should expect designated entrances based on seating, digital ticketing, and enhanced cleaning protocols. Block members will receive priority for tickets based on their plan, and single game tickets will be announced to the public at a later time. The Hens begin their season at home May 4th, so keep an eye out for more of this information. Now, I'm no sports gal, but I'll admit I love me some Mud Hens, so some fun things to look forward to this summer. But that is all I have for you today. If you need more information on anything I've talked about tonight, check out the links in the description of this video. But if you liked this video, hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Jensen, and now you're in the loop.